I'd like to welcome everyone to the Emmaus Borough Council meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I note for the record that Councilman Hart will not be here this evening. We'll have personal appeals part one. If anyone has a personal appeal, please approach the podium, sign in, state your name, and you have 5 minutes for your appeal.
John Donchis, Emmaus. My wife and I walk around town once in a while and notice that the crosswalks are getting painted with nice wide white hash marks. Beautiful. That's a standard, I think, standard marking for that. I hope that continues through all the town. And even when the red brick things here, they're not looking so good and they cost a lot of money to repair, our guys can do the paint jobs. We can't do it with the other. That costs as many tens of thousands to replace and repair those already. Just go standard throughout. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, John. You stole my thunder. I was going to mention that later in the meeting, how nice they look.
So, yeah,
And I noticed them in intersections where we haven't had them before, too.
so that is our new standard. That is what we will be painting the entire town's crosswalks. First of all, they're higher visibility for vehicles coming. It also tends to slow traffic a little bit more. But, you know, one of the concerns has always been that people don't necessarily see where the crosswalks are marked. And we have added additional crosswalk spaces
Harrison Street.
in the community as well. So thank you for that, and I will pass that along. But, yeah, that was definitely a concerted effort. The Public Safety Committee and I think Public Works Committee have both been discussing that for months with our Public Works Director. So thank you.
Any other public appeals? Hearing none, we have community minute. Anyone have anything to bring forward?
I just want to say congratulations to Funk. They had an excellent event this weekend with for their anniversary. I think everything worked out well. I haven't heard any kind of negative feedback in regards to...
How many years is it now?
3 years.
3 years?
Yep.
They've come a long way in 3 years, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and then what they did was, which was nice, was they opened up the gates between the storage units so everybody could walk down that way if they were heading down to Yergis and Triple Sun. So it was nice, and they avoid the streets.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Just, I saw that it was National Library Card Month, and that it'd be great, everybody visit the local library. If you don't have a card, stop in, get one, and support our library.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I have something.
Mayor Gilbert.
Yeah, how about that? Community Heroes is Thursday, the 5th of September. Be held at the library from 6 to 8 p.m. So come on out, greet your community heroes, and get your library card.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Anyone else? All good stuff. All right. Tonight we do have a special presentation. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Councilwoman McManaman.
Thank you, Mr. Ladenburg. Tonight we're going a little off script from the planned presentation on the Emmaus Remembrance Garden. This time every year we honor one of our own,
Does she not have a
a community
microphone?
volunteer who has given unselfishly and made a significant difference in Emmaus. For their 15-year commitment to the vision and operation of the Emmaus Commemorative Gardens Foundation and the Emmaus Remembrance Garden, tonight we would like to honor Linda and Mike Waddell. 2018 volunteers.
My name is Tom Gaddings. I've worked in and around Emmaus for the last 50 years. I ended here at Rodale with the Wildlands Conservancy. In 2002, the community started to bring together the community to see how the 250th anniversary was going to go. Mike was part of that. His idea that he and Linda brought forward was a good one. It turned into the Remembrance Garden. But no idea, no matter how good they are, can be truly successful unless they have champions. People that will give their all to make sure that it works.
And sometimes no one else knows that they're putting in as much labor and dedication and effort as they do. And that's Mike and Linda. The Remembrance Garden is just truly a terrific addition to the town of Borough, I should say, of Emmaus. And it's really because of their dedication to the idea that it's there. And we have them to thank for it more than anything else.
He's good.
This is truly an honor. I thank council for this. I know there's a lot of deliberations in doing something like this, and so many fine people in this community who are deserving. When I think of people who have won and been awarded this honor before, starting with John Kirschman, if I remember correctly. John was our first recipient, and Kathy Minster, Terry, of course, Alan Hallman, Vic Farmer, who's back here,
Sadrovitzes?
Sadravitzes, Acker, so many fine people who have won this, and to have my name in the same context of theirs, Linda and I with them, is pretty amazing, really. Really, this lady, you have no idea how much she does for this. She is a person behind the curtain so many times that she's looking over my agendas, and she's the one who will say, "You did what? What were you thinking?" Right? Yeah, more than once. And I thank council, I thank this community for giving us this opportunity. It's a wonderful community. I'm glad we've been a very positive part of it with all the things we've done. So Terry, I have a lot of notes to read. No. I was told I was doing something about the Remembrance Committee tonight, so I have like 35 minutes to do it.
How many stoners do you have in the meeting?
And I'd just like to mention too, beyond their contribution to the Remembrance Garden, that Mike and Linda gave tireless hours to the Arts Commission, and I could not have been more happy to have them as members of the Arts Commission. Linda as the treasurer, and Mike as fill in for anything that needed to be done, and also contribute to the success of the Arts Commission that's still going today. So thank you, Mike, for that. So thank you.
So if we could we get the whole Remembrance Garden board up here with Mike and Linda?
So the audience should know, Terry had me send an email to the whole Remembrance Garden board when I was making a presentation tonight. Little did I know that I were quite interviewed. She's very sneaky.
Go to that side, since there's water.
Oh, Red's Bailey's are good. I never knew we actually went to the board.
Oh, I didn't either. Okay, I won't.
Who sent it? I remember.
Thank you. Now go sell some bricks in there in the audience. Thank you, Mr. Levenberg.
You're welcome. I would just like to say a few words. I remember sitting in the council here when Mike brought that idea forward. He was on a trip visiting his in-laws or parents.
Father, do you want my notes?
And it was out in the Midwest somewhere. Not going to tell me where.
Oh, Nevada.
Nevada.
Can you just do it, Brad?
No. And I just remember what a great idea that was. And I was hoping that the idea would follow through, and he did it. And he did it well. And I'm sure Linda was behind the scenes and was with him the whole way. And then Both of them were involved in the Arts Commission, which is doing a fantastic job now. And also, Mike is involved with the Canals Homestead and kind of revived that from, well, it had its issues, and now those issues are being addressed. So, along with a couple other members that are helping with that. And I just want to thank you for your service. It's appreciated. So, anybody else would like to say anything? All right, moving on with the agenda. We have reading of the minutes. We have council meeting minutes from August 19th. Would somebody like to make a motion to approve the minutes? Councilwoman Baumgartner, second by Councilman Dufresne. Any questions or corrections on the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Moving on to decisions on bids, we have none. Communications. This is probably only the second time it's ever happened since I've been on council, and it's twice in 1 year. We have none. Borough Engineers report, we have none. Solicitors report.
There's no formal report. There are some legal issues going on, but no formal report, so progress.
Thank you. We have unfinished business part 1, which we have nothing. Under new business, we have ordinance 1193. Tonight's the first reading, and it is an ordinance amending the Borough of Emmaus zoning ordinance by amending the official zoning map to change the zoning classification of a 6.1394 acre, more or less, that sounds pretty accurate, tract of land known as 300 Furnace Street, also known as Lehigh County tax pin number, get ready for this one, 549474474892-1, from the 1L Light Industrial and Conservation Residential Zoning District, and to change to the zoning classification of a 2.7438 acre portion of the property known as 326 South 2nd Street, and also known as Lehigh County PIN number 549475931257-1, from the Conservation Residential Zoning District to the R-HO, or High Density Residential Office Zoning District. So that is the motion, the ordinance. We have a presentation first?
I would think maybe we'll just.
All right, so at this time, who am I calling forward?
Mr. Trainer, Mr. Ott, and their development team.
All right, I'd like to call those gentlemen forward and their team.
Yeah, I'll go. Mr. Chairman, would you like me to put the easel over here? Which side works better for council?
If you can face it so that the public can see it and we can see it, that's fantastic. If council members have trouble seeing it, then we're going to angle it towards us more.
And while the professional staff's doing their tricks, my name is Tim Charlesworth. I'm the attorney for the applicants tonight, for the petitioners. I'm with the law firm of Fitzpatrick Glenson Booba down in Center Valley, and you did a great job of introducing the petition, so I won't give you a whole lot of details of exactly what we're talking about because we'll have a plan that we can refer to. But I will say that we think that this request for rezoning makes a lot of sense, given what's on the properties today.
That's good. That's good, yeah.
The petition, we think, makes a lot of sense based on what's on the properties today, what's surrounding them, and what could be on them if the rezoning is approved. So we do have members of our team here who can answer more questions. We have a video that we can show you toward the end of the presentation that will give you an idea of a similar development that our clients have done in the borough of Albertus, not too far from here. But let me just give you a little more flavor for what we're talking about. Jeff, can you point out the properties and approximately where the 2 lots lie today?
So we have a 6.1 acre tract of land here, by way of getting you oriented. This is South 4th, this is Furnace, this is Wood, this is South Mountain. The old, the 300 Furnace Street site is here. That's the site where the abandoned buildings are located. Like I said, that is a 6.1 acre tract of land. 326 South 2nd Street is located along South 2nd Street, right by the trestle. That is a overall 3.1 acre tract of land. This won't be part of the project per se, but the acreage for this property extends to the rear. There's going to be a land conveyance from 326 to 300 to create the project site.
So on the 300 Furnace Street property today, there is I guess I'll call it an abandoned industrial facility, an office and a garage. I tried to get to it before the meeting tonight so I could say, oh, I've seen it. You can't see it. Without a machete or some heavy vehicles, it's tough to get to. But it's back there. I've seen photographs of it. The warehouse industrial building is outdated. It would be a challenge to rehab it into some industrial use, although it's still zoned for that. Jeff, can you show us approximately where the zoning lines fall between the IL and the CR on the Furnace Street property?
The IL on a Furnace Street basically lies in this corner, and the remainder of the tract is CR to about this point. That's the property line. Then on 326 South 2nd Street, this is RL for a distance 150 feet in from the physical center line of the road, and then it becomes CR. So you basically have IL, CR, CR, and RL. And what the proposal is to not change the RL, leave that alone, but the remainder of it would be changed to RHO.
Right, so both of the properties are odd, they're unusual, they're split zoning. We're proposing something that we think would consider a contiguous RHO, residential, high-density residential office district. We don't see any adverse impact, no necessity of expanding services in any significant way, so we feel it would be consistent with the area. So we are happy to answer some questions. All we're asking for tonight, however, is not necessarily an endorsement of this proposal, but just get us to the next step, get us to the Planning Commission so we can provide more detail, and then eventually, we hope, come back here for a vote on the zoning amendment.
So does council have any questions? This is specifically to the zoning change. And you have a video for us to watch?
I think it's teed up on the...
Mr. President, can I just address this so it's clear to everyone? This is a zoning, requested zoning change for the two tracks. Anything you see on a concept plan doesn't mean that they have to build that. It would be permitted by the zoning change. After reading this, it appears to me that what's really going on here is that the zoning for the industrial use and the potential for the old buildings that are there just doesn't fit for going forward, and they would like to go with a high-density residential and change it.
It's definitely more compatible with what's there now.
Right.
I mean, what's surrounding it, what's there now is a mess.
But you're changing the zoning. You're not approving any plan tonight, just so everyone is clear.
Completely right. Thank you.
What this video is going to show is a project that Jeffrey Trainer and Andrea Kenny worked on in Alberta's Borough. Now, the exterior of the building is different than the one I believe would be proposed ultimately. It's going to be more earth tones on 300 Furnace if that moves forward. But the point of this video is to show you the interior fit-outs and the quality.
The Jefferson, an upscale boutique apartment complex, is located at 315 East Stone Alley, across from the neighborhood park in Albertus, Pennsylvania, located on a quiet street just a few minutes walk to the pool and elementary school. Just off Route 222 bypass in the Amazon complex, just west of Air Products and 15 minutes from Lehigh Valley Hospital and East Penn schools. The new complex features 8 two-bedroom apartments, 2 of which are handicap accessible and have private entries. The baths in the handicap units are roll-in tile units.
This would be typical
Feature
of what
large
you see
open
in
floor plan, designed for countertops, stainless steel Whirlpool appliances in the kitchen, and full-size laundry in each unit. The master bedroom features a lot of windows and walk-in closet. These new 2-bedroom units are open concept and feel more like a home than an apartment. enjoy the Jefferson in western Lehigh County, just west of Trexlertown in the borough of Albertus.
And that's our show. If you have questions, we'll try to answer them as best we can based on conceptual and based on the rezoning request. Otherwise, we'd ask you to consider the move to the planning commission, please.
So does anybody have any questions specific to zoning? So I'll take a motion to approve ordinance 1193, which I will not read again. Councilman Schubsta, seconded by Councilman Dufresne. Questions or discussion? I just want to say, this has been a property that's been a burden for this borough for a long time, many decades. And we've had issues with vandalism and drug use and other issues at this location. So quite frankly, we've been trying to get somebody to take care of this, but because of all the issues, how many times was it? 2 or 3 times where people were interested, but then when they found out all that was involved, they backed away?
So 6 that I'm aware of.
6, okay. So these gentlemen are willing to put the money forward for the environmental studies, the environmental cleanup, and to move this project forward, and I'm thankful for it. But it has to go through this. It has to go through the phases. So, Councilman Anders.
I did take a walk back there, and I did have to hack my way kind of through there just the other day when I saw this. And I'm also, for the record, I live on South 2nd Street. So seeing that there and what's back there now, I think that's a good fit and for the zoning. And I appreciate these gentlemen for looking to improve our community by trying to build this there.
Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, so roll call vote. Councilwoman McManaman?
Aye.
Councilman Schubsta?
Aye.
Councilman Anders?
Aye.
Councilman Dufresne?
Aye.
Councilwoman Baumgartner?
Aye.
Councilman Labenberg? Aye. There are 6 ayes. So you get to move to the next step.
Thank you very much.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Unfinished business part 2, we have nothing. Does anybody have anything for items not on the agenda? Hearing none. Mayor's report.
Progress.
Committee reports. Public Works Committee, Chairman Anders.
Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is September 11th at 4 p.m., and I will report progress.
Thank you, Chairman Anders. Health, Sanitation, and Codes Committee, Chairman Schubsta.
Okay, we'll start with the first one. The committee interviewed 3 individuals, 3 excellent individuals, for the assistant codes official. And the committee, on a 3-0 vote, has decided to make an offer to, and he has accepted, for Ryan Westner. Ryan was an excellent candidate. All 3 were, but Ryan is in a perfect position right now. He's moving back to the area. He's from the area. He has experience out in the Minnesota area as a zoning officer. He's very excited to come back to the area, and I think he'll make a fine zoning officer, especially since we're looking towards the future. He's a young guy. He's got a lot of excitement. He's a lot of certifications. So again, I was very happy, and I think the committee was very happy with the interviews that we conducted. All three of them were excellent. I mean, they all were very intelligent, very excited about what they do, but when it came
Mr.
down to
Westner definitely
experience.
stood out from the pack from the beginning.
Yep.
We had 80 applicants, a lot of quality applicants, but Mr. Westner definitely stood out from the first interview to the last interview. So we would ask council for a vote to approve. I think we.
Yep.
We're at what, $57,000?
Yeah, we have,
$57,000
we'll make a
$1,000
motion to
moving
approve, yep, his salary at $57,000 a year with a $1,000 moving stipend, and I'll put that in the form of a motion.
So motion by Councilman Schubsta, seconded by Councilman Anders. I would just like to say I read the 20-page packet that was in here with interview notes and his resume, and I just want to say I was excited just from reading it. He's a perfect fit for this borough, so that's all I got to say is I'm looking forward to him joining the team.
Yeah, I think, you don't just look for certifications in this position. You look for personality, somebody that's going to be able to work with the public but not be trampled over, but somebody that's going to also be willing to help people, because most people, when they come in here, they don't really know what they're looking for. They're trying to, they want to build something in their backyard, right? They want to build a shed or an addition to the house, and in reality, they don't know exactly what the rules are, and so you have to look for somebody that's going to be able to have the personality to be able to help, not just enforce. And that's always a trick when you're hiring in this position. And I think we found the right guy. I really do. I think we really did. And he really stood out.
And he answered all the questions properly, especially the trick question. We asked him what hockey fan he was, and he said a Philadelphia Flyers, so he did answer it correctly. The reason why we asked him that question is he's a former college hockey player, and he's a coach also. So I thought he'd say Minnesota or something else. But nope, he was good. So yeah, I'm excited. I think he's a perfect fit for what we're looking to do. And the other two gentlemen, like we said, I mean, eventually we're going to be looking somewhere down the future, to hire again. So, they could also be candidates.
Absolutely. Yep, absolutely.
Any other comments? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes.
Second, Shane, how do you want to do the resolution here for, you want to do a presentation on this? You want to do?
The towns of South Mountain,
Yep.
I think we need a presentation.
Yeah, I think
they're
we do
here.
too. Yep, I see they're
yeah.
here.
I could have reached that if I stood up.
Yeah, here, go ahead.
People just need to put up a shade.
2, apparently.
Man, what are you doing?
As it falls
Like
down.
freaking everything.
No, that wasn't that hard.
Yeah, I know. He's all over the place.
One side of the table.
Yeah.
To the side,
So everybody has a packet that you received in regards to the development project that's being presented right now. And the proposal is in a resolution right now, and the conditional approval is for the towns of South Mountain.
Good evening. Back. I'm Joe Buba, also Patrick Wetzel-Buba, representing the developer. You're familiar with this, but it's been a long time since we've been here, so let me just really briefly go through this. This also involved a rezoning along the back of Furnace in South Mountain. You might remember part of it was conservation residential, CR, and part of it was MH. We came before the borough to rezone that. We still kept a CR area, but what we indicated at that time is, although it was CR, part of it was CR, it really didn't do anyone any good because nobody could use it for open space or recreational purposes. So when we sought to rezone a portion of the land, what we said is that if we rezoned it, we would keep the CR district, but we would also dedicate a walking trail and recreational areas to the borough. And the way we've worked through this with the solicitor's office is because the borough did not want to have the liability, we actually are going to maintain ownership of this. The association will maintain ownership, will maintain the walking trail, but it will give access to members of the public. And that walking trail is this entire area shown here, which will connect to the park. So we thought this enhanced, frankly, the recreational and open space plan. There are 49 townhomes. This is the extension of Tillman. This is the extension of Arch. And if you know this area, Arch, there's a lot of small townhomes which seem to permit pools, trampolines, all of those things. And I handed Mr. Dimick earlier a copy of our proposed CCRs, covenants, conditions, and restrictions, where we will have very strict limitations on what these homes and what the outside of these homes can look like. For example, we've indicated that the only outdoor patio will be the patio that the developer builds. So you won't have people adding on to that. That dovetails into our impervious coverage calculations. We're controlling no pools, no basketball courts, no trampolines. If there's awnings, they have to match with the association. The outdoor exterior colors will all be the same. Through the planning commission process, we've increased the parking over what is necessary by 25% to try to get as many cars off the streets as possible. And we think these townhomes, this is a rough rendering, but we expect those to be in that 240, 260 range. So this will be a high-end townhome project. And as I said, there will be now a walking trail which will be dedicated to the public. And we've gone through a series of steps with Planning Commission, nothing necessarily antagonistic, but just tweaks on the plan. They wanted to see a bunch of different things. I think Mr. Ott can confirm at this late date that the stormwater management actually exceeds what we were required to do and actually make some improvements off-site that really were not our responsibility, but because neighbors did come out, we addressed some of those items. I'm not sure if that detention pond has a name, the off-site one, but down towards Pennsylvania, we agreed to do some work there. So with that said, Planning Commission unanimously approved this at the July meeting, I believe.
Yes.
And we would ask for approval at this time.
So are
Subject outside agency. Sorry, Mr. Latham.
So are there any questions? Councilman Anders.
Looking at the plans, and the walking trail is great, and it's for recreation. And I know we do have recreation we do have recreation fees and so forth. Right outside of there, you're probably aware there's a playground, and you're gonna have all these homes, and there's not many areas. Would you consider, as part of your plans, to upgrade that playground that is right on Arch Street?
Let's see how the night goes.
It's just,
This park right?
Arch Street Playground.
Yes, yes.
Yep.
Yes,
It would be
that's
right
there,
outside the
now, like
entrance.
jungle gym and-
Yeah, it's the equipment is dated, it's out of code.
Yeah, we're pulling
It's in pretty bad shape.
I mean, there's wood stuff there.
And I
that's-
would think adding that many homes, there's gonna be children, and they're gonna need a place, and especially after just hearing there's no trampolines, no basketball, there's a basketball court there, there's, swings and jungle gyms, that type of thing there, and I think it would be just an addition to that, and for the residents outside of it and right there going to it, it's walkable. I think your path may even come right to it.
It does come right to it, so I wasn't being
No.
quick with that. Let's just,
Yeah.
if everything goes as we hope, I'll let Mr. Wall address that issue before you guys vote, so you know where we stand.
Very good. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I mean, the one thing that I'm probably going to recommend is that the Public Safety Committee take a look at any concerns or issues that could possibly happen as far as like crosswalk areas or any of that type of thing, as far as safety concerns are. I mean, that's one of my recommendations. I mean,
Well, when would that be?
you have,
Well, so the planning
Choose.
commission has, we did traffic studies on this, right?
Yes.
We didn't. That's right, it wasn't enough of an impact.
Right.
The planning commission did go down the road a little bit, but I agree that maybe the public safety committee needs to look at down DeLong, and Pennsylvania Avenue.
yeah, the extended streets that are coming off
Yeah.
of that, I think.
So
they
the
should just
inlets
kinda
and
look at.
outlets for
Yeah,
the
I would
development.
recommend they
Just
just kind of look
for-
at that,
yeah.
not their development, but
Just looking at
what's on
traffic
the
down
outsides
there.
of it.
I don't think that has anything to do with.
Okay.
No.
with
No.
their part of it. but
I
just,
understand. You're saying because of the extra traffic, we gotta look at the other streets and see if maybe we need
Yeah, there's a
crosswalks or
concern
something.
or something there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I did have one other quick question. I did notice the Tillman Street connector there, so you purchased that whole property that goes right into the current part of Tillman now? Is that,
At the end of Tillman.
Yes.
Where the fence is.
right where that fence was?
Yes.
Okay, so I would just bring it right on out?
Yeah.
Excellent. That was my major concern, was 2 ways in and out, which now it does have, because I think when you first came, it was up in the air on that. Thank you. Thank you for addressing that.
I'll just-
Mr. President, may I address something? Just so everyone understands, this is now a plan approval. The prior one you heard was a zoning change. Plan approval, they're coming to you, and there's only 2 waivers sought. One deals with some lot lines not matching up and to the way our saldo says, and one deals with eliminating a preliminary and a final plan. They're basically consolidating them and being done with it. That's all. Waivers you do have to approve because that's contrary to your existing saldo. The other provisions in here are conditions which need to be corrected, like where they haven't met certain things in our saldo in the sense of not putting the correct designations on or enough information on it. And that there's a whole pile of those that are being done. They've already started to work on that because I looked at their August, well, we'll call it a filing, but we won't, because we're really going back and looking at the July plan. That's the subject of this resolution. I just wanted you to understand the difference between plan approval and zoning differential. The zoning, in this case, was done months ago. In fact, I was here for that night. The planning now, this is under saldo, and what you have is conditional approval saying that we will allow you to do this plan as you have presented it if you meet these conditions, and we will give you 2 waivers of provisions in our saldo so that you do not have to meet those 2. And you can see those, the waivers are right on page 2, item 2. Very minor. I see no problem with them. The issue of doing off-site improvements, I like to be very, from a legal standpoint, it's very difficult to require a developer to do that. But if they would agree to do that, that'd be great.
I think that they're kind enough and care enough about the community that they'll consider it.
I got that feeling already from Mr. Buba. And the second thing is that the public safety to review it, I mean, if you want to add that as a condition, I have absolutely no problem with that. So now you are dealing with a plan approval, which hopefully those people who you started the zoning change for will come forward with some plan that you will like for those changes, but because these people have done so.
Any other questions? I just want to say, going back in the history of Emmaus, that used to be a junkyard. Back in the 80s, I remember going there. I actually bought a part for my van that I had at the time. And at some point, I didn't even realize it got cleaned up at some point, but was it Rodale? I bought it and cleaned it up. And it's all cleaned up, it's all gone. And now it's going to turn into a development. Am I not mistaken that apartments could go in there instead of housing?
Yes.
So I'd much rather see home ownership in the borough of Emmaus than apartments. So once again, I'd rather have this than apartments. I know that some of the neighbors would rather have it at Woods, but that's not realistic. That's why we have zoning. They have the right to build something there, and I appreciate that they're going to put something nice in there. So with that being said, would somebody like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2019-32? Councilman Schubsta, seconded by Councilman Anders. Questions or discussion?
Is that going to
put
include?
anything in based on what the solicitor just said?
Well,
To answer this question, I don't know.
The motion didn't include it.
I think you're correct. If you want the Public Safety Committee to review it and comment, and you can do that.
No,
You
no,
don't-
no. He's suggesting that down the road, we take a look at crosswalks and other things.
Outside the project.
Outside of the project.
Yeah,
Oh.
I'm not inside the project. I'm
Oh,
on
if
the
you're outside the project, then
Yeah.
that does not have to be there.
Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Best of luck.
Mr. Wall, would you like to share something with us?
I will drive up to the playground with Mr. Bajala this week and take a look at it, and we'll take care of the playground.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you. It's a benefit to that whole neighborhood and your development.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck with the project.
Chairman Ships, did you have anything else for your,
I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, I do. Sorry.
all right, we'll give them a minute to clear out.
Yeah. Been presentation night.
Everyone's leaving happy tonight. We gotta do that anyway. It's gonna make some money. And we're gonna grow. You wanna hit that 12,000?
Anything's better than what's there.
I think we
Anything's
will.
better than what's there.
I know, it's sort of junky.
With Wes?
No, it's
I'll show you.
All right.
They'll upgrade it.
Everybody good?
All right,
So
continuing.
the final thing is, our next meeting, you can see, is scheduled for September 25th at 4:30 PM. And also, we will be finalizing the dumpster day, October 5th, from 8 to 1. And we are moving that, right, Shane, to the fire training grounds off Klein's Lane. It's much more conducive to what we're trying to do with this dumpster day event than putting it into the recycling center.
yes.
Yep,
Yeah.
after we both walked through there and
Yeah,
decided.
absolutely.
Yep.
So is this above the tracks or below the tracks?
It's still above the tracks, it's in the training center, that it's basically a square.
compost site.
Yep.
I'm sorry, there's 2 sets of train tracks. I'm referring to the one
Right in the
that's
middle.
Oh, yeah, that's
Right in
right,
the
I
middle.
forgot we're a train area.
in the middle. Okay,
the middle.
now I know where you're at. Okay.
Yes, right in the middle.
Because there is that lot up above, and I thought we were utilizing that. Will we utilize that if we have to?
We won't need to.
We
Okay.
won't need to, no, we mapped out where the dumpsters would be and where they would fall, and it's just a perfect path, they go in, they go right back out.
The traffic pattern
Yep.
will work better there.
Okay.
There's more, it's a safer area for people to walk. There's, the macadam's in better shape. We don't have to move giant piles of tree limbs and shredded mulch and things like that.
And the fire department knows where to find
Great.
us, so.
But we're working hot and heavy to get this thing
Yep.
ready to go.
Yeah, so one of the other things that I just want to mention is, Shane, I did reach out to some nonprofit organizations is in regards to the paint that we'll be collecting. So I didn't get much feedback from anyone. I mean, I'd hate to throw it away if there's, shelters and things like that that can use the paint, the latex paint that we're going to end up getting, I'm sure.
Arts Commission?
What do you want to paint with latex? A house?
Yeah, not latex. Have we looked at, what's the organization that builds houses for people?
I sent it to
Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat. I sent
Nothing.
emails to 3. One got back to me and said that they didn't need anything right now. So if there's a nonprofit out there that could use household paint and stuff like that we're gonna receive, I hate to throw it out if they can use it. We'll be getting, we'll have a lot of other stuff, but that stuff is going in the dumpsters, as far as the chemicals and things of that nature.
Yeah, because at this point, we're saying no latex paint yet.
We are,
Unless
but
we
it just
find an
says
outlet
paint
for it.
right now,
Yeah.
but, we're gonna get that
Sure.
type of stuff.
It's-
I
we'll take any other kind of paint, but latex paint is considered
Is considered the one we can't use.
hazardous.
Yep.
Shane, do we know, for us to sign up Genius or however you want us to do that?
Seriously?
No, I read something for it, so.
There's no sign of genius.
Just
It's
show-
called,
You
it's
just-
called send me an email back, let me know
Send
when
an
you're
email.
available.
Oh, I thought you had a.
No.
And you don't have a baseball game or anything, so please, stand
No, I
there and
plan to
check
be there.
IDs.
If it's mandatory for everybody else, Roy, you're gonna be there.
That's my birthday, I just expect cake, that's all.
Oh, yeah, we'll give you some.
All right, we'll get you a
We'll
cake.
give you something.
We'll get
We'll give
you,
you,
we'll get you
Yeah.
a donut
Give you a
from
free
the
cake.
Emmaus Bakery.
Oh.
Yeah,
we'll give you
Emmaus
something.
Bakery, we'll get him a donut.
we'll get him free paint. We'll get a free can.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. If you need a couch, we'll get you one of those. Whatever.
From the dumpster?
Yeah.
Might have several.
Oh, thank you guys.
All right. Anything else, Chairman?
No, that's it. So our next meeting, like I said, is September 25th. We'll finalize that. It's at 4:30 in council chambers. Progress.
Thank you, Chairman Shipsta. Parks and Recreation Committee, Chairwoman Baumgartner.
Parks and Recreation actually met today prior to this meeting, so we don't have minutes attached, but some highlights were that we had some bids for the pool study, so we'll be reviewing those and hopefully scheduling interviews soon, so you'll hear more about that. And we also talked about the progress of the Parks and Trails study RFP, so we'll continue to be working on that. That shall come your way in our minutes soon. So our next meeting will be October 1st at 4:30 p.m. Progress.
Thank you, Chairwoman Baumgartner. Public Safety Committee, Chairman Dufresne.
We have one item for action tonight. Officer Jamie Whipple is through her probationary period, so make a motion to retain Jamie Whipple as a full-time patrol officer with the Emmaus Police Department, and you can see the memo that is attached.
There's a motion by Councilman Dufresne. Is there a second? Councilwoman McManaman. Discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. Congratulations to her.
And next meeting is September 11th at 9:15 a.m. Progress.
Thank you, Chairman Dufresne. General Administration Committee is myself. We have Ordinance 1193 that we passed earlier, and our next meeting is next Thursday, September 12th at 9 a.m. here in Council Chambers. Report progress. Budget and Finance Committee, in Councilman Hart's absence, I will do his committee. Resolution 2019-31, the bill list. Is there a motion to approve the bill list? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Schubsta. Any questions on the bill list? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. There are 6 ayes. You have significant revenue and expenses listed. You have committee meeting notes, which is just approving of the bill list last time. So with that, I report progress. Community Relations Planning and Development Committee, Chairwoman McManaman.
Nothing for official action this evening. Our next meeting is September 19th at 4:30. Progress.
Thank you. Junior Council members report. Junior Councilman Jonas.
The first 2 weeks of school have gone by pretty well. AHS football lost to Nazareth Friday. AHS soccer won against Northampton Saturday. And that's all I have to report. I report progress.
Thank you. And you're a senior now?
Junior.
Oh, you're a junior now?
Yeah.
You're going to be on here for 3 years.
Yeah.
That's very unusual, just so you know. If you follow the Borough News magazine, they always have the junior council people listed, and usually it's junior and senior. Am I not
Yeah, he's a trendsetter.
Mr. President, we have told Mr. Hausman, though, that he just doesn't, he's going to have to go once a year. We have to approve him every year. He can't just fly in and come in for 3 years.
Well, I don't think we approved them for this year.
Good point.
All right, thank you. Jonas, you have 6 sets of boards and commission meeting minutes here for you to keep updated, and including the budget report. So if you want to review that, see where we're at. Personal appeals part 2, if anyone has a personal appeal. Hearing none. Borough Manager's report.
So I've hired 2 members of the fire department, Kurt Reinert and Tyler Moyer, contingent upon the final completion of their backgrounds. Both will come in at firefighter level 1. Very excited about both individuals. That should bring us close to the staffing level that we were expecting. So I don't anticipate many more hirings at this point in the year, maybe 1 or 2, but I'm pretty sure that our staffing is adequate at this point. Our holes still seem to be during daylight hours, and both of these individuals can fill those gaps during the week. So both are very highly qualified. We're getting a lot of people that are full-time, professionally paid fire departments from cities. I mean, that's what we're hiring here. We're not hiring the guy that picked up a hose last week and decided to be a firefighter. These people have been through hundreds of hours of training and hundreds of hours of real life experience. So, it's exciting to see the quality of what our fire department's turning into, and something that we should be proud of. That is, one of the great benefits of having a paid department is you get people that are highly qualified. This isn't a hobby to most of them. This is a way of life for most of them, kind of like being a police officer or a paramedic. It's the same type of thing for them. So we are excited to have both of them. Department managers have the unfortunate displeasure of turning in their budget request to me next Monday. So that process begins. And what that means for you too, though, is we have projects that we need to wrap up very quickly. Because my focus very quickly is going to shift in another direction. So there are things that have been hanging out there for months, and two of you over there are whispering, one of those projects. I have some things I need to wrap up, so your committee work in the next few weeks is going to be intense and long if we have things that we need to get done, because we are going to get those finished or we are going to put those on the back burner. It'll be up to you as to how you want to approach all those projects, but we will not be working heavily on those projects through the months of October, November, and December, I can assure you of that. So we have 1 month to wrap up whatever projects we're working on. Otherwise, we'll see it again in the spring. All right, you have any questions for me? If you have budget requests yourself, please send those in by next Monday. And we'll get started on the process. Progress.
Don't worry, we'll cut them.
Yep.
Thank you, Shane.
Not yet. Yeah, zoning, zoning hearing board.
Okay. Under President's business, I just want to say that there's a lot of exciting things going on here in the borough. You saw 2 of them tonight. Areas of the borough that in the past or are presently eyesores of the borough are now going to be producing real estate taxes that will help this borough in the long run. Also, we have a new Turkey Hill coming eventually, where 3 properties will combine and become a very large Turkey Hill to compete with the new Wawa that's going to be coming in. So we have a lot of new things coming to this borough. I personally am very excited about it. I don't know about anyone else, but they're all positives. And it's all part of this borough changing, and we're going to have new people moving into this borough, and we got to invite them here and have them become part of this community. So we're a little ways out on that, but we also have the fields at Indian Creek, which have been selling, and I see them listed in the newspaper every Sunday, every so often. So they're also going to be part of this borough. So with that being said, I say progress. Is there a motion to adjourn? Councilman Dufresne, seconded by Councilman Anders. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? There are 6 ayes. Meeting adjourned at 7:55.